I'm Fox, any pronouns, and welcome back to day 2 of Treat or Terror. Today's silent horror film is also a short. Under a minute, in fact. We're looking at the X-Ray Fiend, also known as the X-Rays. But I prefer the first title. It was directed by George Albert Smith, releasing in 1897. He was also known for his special effects, which are on display here as a flirtatious couple get X-rayed and we see their skeletons. Admittedly, this one is more comedy with some spooky elements, fitting as a horror genre name did not exist until the early 1930s. At this time, they were called spook tales. A delightful name, I must say. X-Rays has only come out in 1895, so they were still relatively new and not well understood. It's fun to see George combine this new scientific knowledge with the new film techniques in this burgeoning medium. The film itself is pretty straightforward. A couple is getting a little saucy. The guy brings in an X-ray machine, so we see their skeletons kissing. Hot. Then the woman slaps him and leaves. I really appreciate the umbrella showing its own skeleton, so to speak. It's a nice touch. Overall, I wouldn't say the techniques are as refined as George Melis's film from yesterday, but Smith honed his craft through the years. Honestly, I still find it entertaining to this day. George is fascinating to read about. He was at one point a stage hypnotist and an astronomer, possibly the first filmmaker to use parallel action, and he invented kinemacolor, which could bring color to the screen. There's not too much else to say about this one. I also wanted to go over another of his works, Photographing a Ghost, but it's a lost film like so many others of the era. It sounds like it was such an important film in core cinematic history, but we'll never know the full influence it had since we cannot see it. We only have one still.
Hi, so upon further research, that one still that has been attributed to Photographing a Ghost seems to actually be from the very much not lost Is Spiritualism a Fraud? By Robert W. Paul. Other images wrongly attributed to this short are clearly photos of Lon Chaney in London After Midnight. And just a little insight into how difficult sometimes it can be researching into these older films.
I wanted to bring it up anyway, however, to showcase how we should treasure the early films we do have, and make an active attempt to preserve what remains. This short, truthfully, isn't in the best condition, and if it hadn't been preserved and distributed online, it's safe to assume we wouldn't be here talking about it now. And join me tomorrow for another silent horror as we enter the early 1900s. Thanks for joining my lucid screaming.